It's time for some real talk. No, not the kind you'd have with your dad, not that one. The kind where you love something so much that you can't just stand by when it goes down a dark path. And unfortunately, that seems to be where Pokemon Sword and Shield is heading. From making ridiculous reasoning with the intention of justifying laziness, to making dead-end apologies to try and calm the rightfully angry fans, we want to take this time to voice our concerns with some of the many problems facing Pokemon Sword and Shield, and what it means for Game Freak and Nintendo as a whole. But first, let's quickly go over the recent Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer, which confirmed we're getting new Galarian regional forms, similar to the Alolan forms in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Our favourite so far is no doubt the Gentleman Galarian Weezing. Just look at that thing, wow. But anyways, it's a toxic and fairy Pokemon with an industrial chimney formed as a top hat and a moustache. No, couldn't say that without laughing. Though Obstagoon, the final evolution form of Galarian Zigzagoon and Lanoon, is also amazing and looks like a vocalist from Kiss. Interesting choice. We also appreciate the inclusion of Morpeko, especially its Hangry mode and the new rival bead. But what on earth is going on with Team Yell? I understand they're punkers and fans of the new rival Marine, but for real, the edginess is turning just a little cringe at this point. Just look at them. We really hope they're not the main villain team, as this is just getting a bit silly. Now, let us be clear, we're not saying this game is going to be bad as an entertainment experience. However, as a Pokemon game, we suspect it's going to be at least lackluster. Much like how Fallout 4 isn't necessarily a bad game, but it's definitely not a good Fallout game. See what I mean here? Okay. These problems we're going to discuss will have significant, real and precedent-setting implications for Pokemon as a series. However, it would probably be best to address the most well-known of them all. That's right, bring back National Dex. Boy oh boy, if this was not the beginning of when it all went downhill. Now, I'm not going to bore you with what this issue is, you already know. If not, then where have you been these past few months, man? Game Freak has literally gone full Thanos, stating that only the Pokemon they personally pick are going to be usable in the game. Their reasoning of balancing Pokemon and having too many to possibly put them all in the game is nonsensical. It's been disproven by many people, including a 3D animator and rigger, who we absolutely recommend you check out by the way, who decisively proves that all previous Pokemon from the 3DS games can simply be added to the new games by doing a quick upscale on their textures.
However, it doesn't stop here. The laziness of not updating the models with a quick uplift is matched only by Game Freak's inability to put some effort into the move animations. I mean, look at these moves from Pokemon Stadium compared to what we see Scorbunny do in Sword and Shield. Yes, a game from 1999 has more expressive animations than a game from 2019. This is ridiculous. The whole excuse for not having every Pokemon in the game was basically recreating it with much higher fidelity and higher quality animations, which as we can see is simply not the case. So unless they make a major jump from the tech demo, we can't exactly see this turning out well. Oh, another thing, speaking of the tech demo, do we really need to say much more here? What even is this? We know it was a tech demo, but really Game Freak? This is what you wanted to show the world? God help you when this game releases if there isn't some major polishing up on the graphical fidelity on this game. However, graphics aren't everything. They're part of a game's experience, but not the deciding factor. So how about the gameplay mechanics? Dynamaxing seems okay. We'll give it a chance at least. However, it certainly reminds us of something. What was it called again? Oh yeah, Mega Evolution. Z-moves or Z-moves. Why aren't these features in the game either? You can't just add new features and mechanics only to take them away. What gives? You just wanted something visually big and eye-catching without thinking about the mechanics you've already made? Even Gigantamaxing is basically Mega Evolution. It changes the Pokemon's appearance but just makes them bigger, more powerful.
Obviously it's a bit more complicated than that, but that's the general gist. What Conrad is trying to say here is, where's the consistency? Why not continue to build upon the great stuff you've already made? Removing Z-moves and Mega Evolution only to replace them with something that's basically the same thing? That's a big step backwards. Actually, no, it's worse than that. It's multiple steps backwards. Combine this with the music not being fully orchestrated as in recent previous titles, and we're pretty much going back in time here as far as progression is concerned. Even fans with barely any resources produce amazing orchestrated works. Why can't Game Freak? Now, of course, that's not to say that there won't be any orchestrated music in the game, and true, they may genuinely just want to change the style. However, You just can't tell me that orchestrated symphonies are not better than this techno-dub club music they've used for the gym leader theme. You just can't, okay? It's not even close. It made sense for groups like Ultra Recon Squad in Sun and Moon because they're from a wacky, futuristic wormhole dimension, but what's the connection and need for techno beats here? I don't understand. We want to be really clear, this is not a small series. In fact, Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise ever in human history. It makes an estimated $90 billion. Yeah, I think they have the resources to fix these issues, don't you? Don't even give us that "they're running out of time" argument. We know that not every single dollar of revenue goes into the games, but my god, do you think this is worth damaging your series over? Was it worth the backlash, the anger? I don't think so. All of this is setting a dangerous precedent for Pokemon as a series. What else can happen? Removal of Pokeballs? No trading? Hey, if it's in the shallow name of balance, then I guess anything can be justified. Why don't we just make this into a Beyblade spinning top game? Why not? At this rate, anything goes.
If this trend continues, of removing features that have become ingrained in the Pokemon franchise, cutting down on the number of Pokemon, refusing to properly address fan concerns, and refusing to accept fault, it simply spells disaster for future Pokemon titles, at least if Game Freak is going to be making some of them. A major problem is that Game Freak has no idea how to make a believable, and more importantly detailed open world environment. This is attached to another thing that we have to address, the lack of will to change at Game Freak when taking the leap of faith to the Nintendo Switch from a handheld. This was due to forced migration that they're not too happy about because of increased demands, now that they're not working exclusively on games for an underpowered handheld. Well, to some extent they're still working on a handheld since we have the Nintendo Switch Lite, but even less. Then Pokemon Sword and Shield compared to Fire Emblem Three Houses is, in many ways, looking like a merely upscaled 3DS game, and at times in the wild area, worse than 20-year-old Nintendo 64 games. Now, I love The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, it's one of my favorite games of all time, and in a sense in the wild area in Pokemon Sword and Shield awakes a feeling of nostalgia, only that the pop-in, draw distance and well, that tree completely ruins all immersion. Seriously, you make this massive Breath of the Wild style open world reveal in your Pokemon Direct, and then you deliver this at your E3 Treehouse live session? Who in the right mind would have approved this instead of saying, you know what, let's update these shortcomings and delay the game a few months until 2020 to deliver the game experience players deserve?
Unfortunately, this is not really possible as Game Freak cannot delay the new region since that will also delay the Pokemon Company's launch of the Galar anime, trading cards, and most importantly, merchandise around the world. So in complete fairness, maybe Game Freak isn't completely to blame necessarily, but rather the Pokemon Company itself, which will not accept any delays. This is very much unlike the case we see with a game like Animal Crossing New Horizons, which delayed to avoid a time crunch and an unpolished game experience. Animal Crossing developers had the sense to delay the game and make it better, but we also do recognise, in fairness, that they're not tied to such a giant merchandising effort. There is a fine balance here after all. However, it doesn't make it any less frustrating. Pokemon's first real mainline game on the Switch deserves to be better than, well, this. We don't want to be downers about the game. We really want to be hyped. We want to be excited. I mean, hell, I cosplay from Pokemon. I love the series. My room is full of Pokemon posters, everything, but instead of celebrating the game, we're making videos like this, addressing very real concerns that fans across the world have also expressed themselves. It's a real shame. The Pokemon Company is in the middle of its second golden age, experiencing profits they haven't ever seen before, or at least until the first wave of Poké Fever died down in the second half of the 2000s. In fact, that might be the source of the problem we're facing with Pokemon Sword and Shield and Game Freak as a whole right now. The Pokemon Company fears another bubble burst, and has since 2016 pumped out game after game after game, and even now a live-action movie to make as much profit as possible, until the next unavoidable burst hits them again. The question is this game going to be that burst? We certainly hope not, but by judging the reaction the game is getting so far, and compounding that with the many issues the game has, it really isn't out of the question. I suppose all we can really do for now is just wait and see.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that thumbs up button if you liked this video, and subscribe if you're new for more Nintendo Switch and Pokemon videos in the future. Special thanks to all our gracious patrons, including royal producers Kenyatta Ali and Bradley Carriage. Visit our Patreon page to find out how you can help support the Commonwealth Realm and get some cool perks along the way. That's all we have for now, so we will see you next time on the Commonwealth Realm.